The Beyond the Fame podcast is fed by Lido Pizza. Lido Pizza never cuts corners. For menu and locations, visit LidoPizza.com. And of course, this podcast would not be possible without our longtime title sponsor, the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Kicking off October entertainment is Melissa Etheridge on October 3rd and Mariachi Vargas on October 4th. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Comedian Whitney Cummings cracks up the Lyric in Baltimore, Maryland this Saturday, October 4th. She joined me to discuss growing up in the DC area before launching a hilarious career in comedy. From pranking celebrities on MTV's Punk'd, to roasting future presidents on Comedy Central, and even creating her own TV sitcoms for CBS and NBC. Hey, Whitney Cummings, hey, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. I mean, this is a big show. I've been told that your show is very successful.
We are talking because you were coming to the Lyric in Baltimore, Maryland on October 4th. This is a bit of a homecoming for you, and I'll get to that in a second, but let's tease the name of the tour first. It's called your Big Baby North American Tour. So is this mostly about being a mom? I know, you're raising your son, Henry, or is it also that you yourself are still a big baby?
It's, by the way, you're one of the only people that have kind of gotten that, like,
Really?
don't you find that the most immature people are having kids, and you're like, what? Like, kids are having kids, so that was part of the double entendre.
In fact, we have something really cool behind us up there. This is our baby next month via
You're having a baby in a month.
Well,
you know what's wild? That picture of your baby, the in utero one, mine is the exact same. I'm convinced that machine doesn't even work, and they have like 20 stock photos.
They're just
the sonogram. Yeah, like, I think that's I got that one. I think we both got the same one. But look, what's the thing behind you on the right? Is that like a lightsaber?
It's like my wife's college diploma.
Your wife's college diploma.
You and Jeff Goldblum are the two that literally just throw out any questions that I was gonna ask and just start picking apart the
So your wife's did she just put things in the background that are just like, just so you know, I went to college. So reminding you as you do your podcast.
Yeah, exactly. There's her SHRM HR certificate. She spent a long time.
Works in human resources.
There's her ukulele for a musician. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, I have so many questions. So your wife works in HR and plays the ukulele. So
this is a whole backstory. She actually is a badass singer. That's how we met. She opened for the Dixie Chicks when she was a teenager.
Why are you? We've been talking about the Dixie Chicks for 2 days straight.
Really?
Tell us everything. Well, yeah, we just watched the Lilith Fair documentary, and then we started getting obsessed. And then we want to watch the Dixie Chicks. I never saw the documentary about them in Bush or something. And then
the Iraq War and all that. Yeah.
She opened for the Dixie Chicks. I love the word Iraq
and
War.
Martina McBride and Charlie Dan. So apparently, this is Whitney Cummings interviewing me about my wife. That's what this interview is now.
Whatever's going on behind you is the most interesting thing about you, and it's all your wife. So this is riveting to me. How did you meet?
Actually, the picture there is in front of the club Caddies in Bethesda, Maryland, where we met. She was performing on stage and we hit it off. Yeah. No, she's awesome.
But what is your accent? Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland. So I know you grew up around here too. So
yeah, but you have like quite an accent. It's kind of like, wow. I always forget that Maryland people have that.
It depends what part of Maryland, I guess, Like, you're performing in Baltimore, it's going to sound a little different than here, where, it's a little more country here. But, and that's what we love about Maryland, though. You get all, as you know. You can get the Bay.
Random, dude. Okay, so here's my deal. So, was born in Washington, D.C., spent every summer in a place called Roanoke, Virginia. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I was like raised. But then I came back. As you can tell, I had a broken home. Don't be jealous. So I was raised by my aunts, come back, and I went to high school, and my sister went to Walt Whitman.
Oh, cool.
In Bethesda. My dad lived off Persimmon Tree Road in Avenel, not the fancy one. We were like you guys can literally go look at it. Go to the 1-lane bridge on what is it, MacArthur.
Yeah.
And it's the first house on Persimmon Tree. It looks like remember in the True Detective, there was like a shack where they found the first body.
Season 1, the McConaughey.
Season 1.
Woody Harrelson?
Yes.
Okay. Great. One of the best seasons of TV ever.
Of drama, maybe the best.
Maybe the best.
Maybe. Like Sopranos, I feel like is more of a comedy. I don't know why. But
it's got both,
and then that is such a perfect season. Oh my God. And so like a hovel mess because Avenel is very fancy. McLean, that whole area, Bethesda, Potomac. I went to St. Andrews in Potomac.
Episcopal school in Potomac. Yeah.
Yes. You know what Episcopal is? I still don't know what Episcopal is.
And it's all denominations. It's all everyone.
It's like everything.
It's all worshiping the same.
It's like private schools are like, we'll take all of your money. Like we don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And your mom did PR for Neiman Marcus at Mazza Gallery.
Well, first it was Bloomingdale's, White Flint, and Tyson's Corner.
Wow.
Okay, so I basically grew up like when I was with her up until 8 or 9, like I lived at Bloomingdale's, Tyson's Corner, and White Flint going back to back. And then she started at Neiman Marcus Mazza Gallery when I was like 14 maybe or 15.
The radio station that I was at for a long time was right across the street in Friendship Heights. So I went to many of movie screenings. I was a movie critic forever at that exact Mazza Gallery. But now it doesn't exist anymore. Pandemic casualties.
Yeah, it's like an Amazon like eyeball checkout kiosk or something.
I have no idea.
What were your radio stations growing up? And I can tell you everything I need to know about you.
Gosh. High school was
you strike me as a 107.3 type of guy.
well,
Jack Diamond in the morning.
In Frederick. Oh, my dad listened to Jack Diamond and Chili Omar and all that. Was that whole.
And remember, Art Monk was on it.
Art Monk. Oh my God. I'm a Washington football fan. Are you kidding me? Joe Gibbs all the way.
Let's go.
They're tearing down RFK. RFK is going the way of Mazza Gallery. But no, I was a 98 YCR. I think it was like a York, Pennsylvania station. And then I got into DC 101 in high school.
DC 101. Of course, you're DC 101.
Of course.
That makes sense.
We listened to everything. Oh, and 99.9 WFRE country.
I was 93.9, 95.5.
Nice. Nice.
Like, I was a little more hood than you, but
what comedy did you like that? We're talking music, but what comedy movies is this? I mean, so you're about our age. So or is it Sandler? Is it Jim Carrey? What is it?
Why things were going so well? What do you mean? Why are we doing this? What are you doing? I'm not. Stop trying to bro down with me. Let's talk about Joe Dirt.
Oh my God, my wife, her favorite movie is Joe Dirt. I'm not joking.
Okay, so her and my boyfriend should get together.
Hey, that's not a meteor. That's a big old frozen chunk of poopy.
So,
a Boeing bomb.
Okay. I'm calling the police if both of you don't shut up. Okay. My boyfriend, Chris Cole, the famous skateboarder Chris Cole, who is, by the way, is New York. He's from he's looking like he's from Philly. York, is York near where you grew up?
Yeah. York is like near. Yeah.
It's up past Hanover.
Yeah. He's Langhorne.
There it is.
Yes, Langhorne, whatever. Philly dude.
Right next to Sesame Place.
So he things were like going well when we're dating. We like get along amazing. And when you're like with someone and you're like, oh my God, there's like a movie you have to see to like understand me.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen Labyrinth, which is honestly
Jim Henson. Yeah.
The greatest. And David Bowie without codpiece or pan, like looking back, the fact that we watched that movie when we were the kids is mental. I mean, his piece is just like front and
by
center.
The way, the pride of College Park, Maryland, they have a statue of Jim Henson. He's from around there. Him and Kermit the Frog, there's a statue of them in College Park on campus.
I've never been around College Park sober, not one time. I didn't know that.
You remember drunkenly rioting on Route 1 after the Terps.
I probably tried to push that statue over.
Yeah,
when you're in college.
Kermit off the. Yeah,
exactly. This is appropriating reptile. That's so crazy. I don't think I knew that. And then Dirty Dancing, and then he made me watch Joe Dirt. David Spade is like a real friend of mine, like a good friend, and I think part of the reason we are such good friends is I have not seen Joe Dirt. Chris made me watch it, and I literally was like, is this the right cut? Like, is this like a YouTube montage? Like, I'm not following. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah. Dirty Dancing it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I remember there was like a Friends episode. They're like, what is your favorite movie? Oh, Dangerous Liaisons. What is it really? Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah. So my wife was like, what is her favorite movie? Dirty Dancing, Princess Bride. What's it really? Joe Dirt. Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah. Ooh, I
great.
am such a weirdo about movies. I don't know. Do you remember the Key Theater in Georgetown?
It was a little before my time, but I've heard Arch Campbell, my buddy. Well, do you remember him from? You used to intern at NBC4, right?
Oh, dude.
The movie critic Arch. Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of
Yeah.
my all-time favorite mentors.
This is so crazy. So I interned at NBC DC because I thought I was going to be a journalist. I believed that like that was my calling, was to like follow in the footsteps of Upton Sinclair, and I interned with Barbara Harrison
Really?
at she would come into Neiman Marcus. So my mom like kind of knew her. I got
Really?
I got an internship at NBC. And when
Right
remember
on Nebraska Ave. Yeah, by
Yes, who
AU.
was
Yeah.
Smuckers, the Smuckers age of the day, birthdays? Willard Scott. Remember
Willard
Willard
Scott, of
Scott would
course.
he would stand outside and be like, so and so is 150 years old. Thank brought to you by
Yeah.
Smuckers. Like,
And
and
Jim
so
Vance was probably host, and Bob Ryan was probably doing. Well, Bob Ryan was after Will Scott.
yeah,
George
it's, I
Michael,
don't
Sports Machine. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Legendary time.
I was in a distance. I believe that I was the person that was hosting all of
Yeah,
I believe that I was the real star there. So I don't remember those
yeah.
those peons' names. But I they gave me an opportunity to read off the teleprompter to make like a reel,
Mhm.
like a newscaster reel, and to read the local news. And because local news is so bonkers, like it's always the most extreme drama. And for DC, I mean, we literally knew that our mayor did crack and reelected him. We were like, that's
Yeah.
our guy.
Marion
And so,
Barry. That like
yeah,
solidified his reelection. It sealed the deal.
yeah, we were like, we love this guy. He's on coke. He's gonna get twice as much stuff done.
He
Like
was
that,
real.
yes,
People were like, "Oh, he's like me."
yeah. He pays for sex. Wild feminist.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I start reading it, and it's about like a child being kidnapped,
Oh no.
and the kid's picture. I could not stop making jokes. This is truly when I knew I was going to have to do comedy, because I couldn't
Yeah.
be objective and I couldn't
Yeah.
say something
Yeah.
horrible without making a joke. Like
Yeah.
I was like, and this kid is been kidnapped, and the photo would come up and I'd be like, oh, whoever kidnapped him must be strong. Like he's not, he's not tiny. Like it was like, well, how is he going to run away? Like look at this butterball. Like I just kept making like offensive, like Tourette's. Like I couldn't stop
Right.
roasting
You
this
look. You
child.
always looking for the joke, no matter how serious the subject. You're looking for the joke.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how we cope, It was too sad otherwise. I was like, you guys can put this on the air without jokes. Like this is
Yeah.
hard. This will ruin everybody's day. It's, so
Yeah.
I
But
think
weren't you
that's
also doing acting? So you're doing journalists. You think you're going to do it NBC4 interning, blah, 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 but then you're also doing a little studio theater, DC, right? A little
How did
acting.
you know that? You're like
I try to
Nardwar.
do my research before we
The
hop on.
Nardwar, Baltimore. So I went to the studio theater, correct. And I would leave school, and it was so weird that I did that, because they had a theater program at my high school, St. Andrews, but the theater teacher did groom us and gave the exchange student aids. So, I thought,
Oh no.
I didn't know that at the time. I was fully in love with him. And
True story.
whatever, it should have been me. The point is, I would go to the studio theater, which was like a super serious downtown. I mean, it's like, not a game. And I remember going and then being like, I'm going to be a real actress and da. And the first exercise was be an animal. Like pick an animal and you have to like embody the animal. And I see these grown women crawling around on the ground like, and I was just like, no,
That's not your
no,
thing.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm paying you.
Right.
So I paid you. So we're not, this is, and I just was like, I don't like this. And I think I picked like truly like sloth or something. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit in this
You
chair.
move
Like,
as slow as possible.
yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that. But I
Yeah.
remember going like, I guess maybe acting's not for me because I'm
Yeah.
not going to get rug burn
It's
down.
not, yeah, it's not for everybody, But shout out Studio Theater. They just had John Proctor's The Villain started there. That was
Cool.
nominated for all the Tonys up on Broadway, but
But
not your thing. You
no,
think
no,
you're
no,
gonna
no. It was my problem is entry level acting classes are always ridiculous. I think it's actually just to weed people out that are like crazy, So
whoever can survive crawling on the floor and the rug burns, then you graduate to the more serious acting.
Or it was like, oh, I have to be smart about the things I choose to do. You know what I mean? And because wanting to act, there's such a desperation in the business. And it was like, I can't approach this in a way that's desperate, or I will do that.
Exactly.
So I actually learned a lot. And I almost feel like I had this teacher at St. Andrews in Potomac named Mr. Whitman, who gave us a quiz, like a pop quiz once or something. And, I'm doing the quiz and doing the quiz and blah, 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 blah. And I get like a B, and everybody gets, doesn't get the grade that they want. And we look back and the directions were, when you get this, do not actually take the quiz. And the whole thing was, if you actually take the quiz, you're going to get deducted. This is just a test to see if you're actually going to read the directions. So I want you to just write entries of like what you're going to do tomorrow and just pretend you're right. And the whole thing was learning about how to actually just read directions. So sometimes like, the best places teach you a lesson in a way that you didn't think.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you get a little acting here at Studio Theater, you get a little journalism at NBC4, and you think you're going to go journalism route at UPenn, right, in Philly.
Yeah, I went to school for communications, so I think I deserve a refund for my. No, I loved it. I honestly loved it. People are like, what's communication? The way that I learned communication was just about questioning everything, which is what comedy is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like film criticism. I took a class with Carrie Rickey. She was the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Oh, cool.
Critic, Joe Turow, which is about like subliminal advertising, how they trick you. And, that's kind of all what comedy is like questioning everything and being suspicious of everything. Sure. It was a lot of sort of like causation versus causality stuff, like studies. But I was always like, nah, who did that study? Like who paid for that study?
Right,
so
exactly.
It was I liked it. I loved Philly, and Philly makes you funnier. It's
always sunny and it's always fun.
Yeah, and the people that live there are funny. Like the Eagles fans are funny. Like I'm glad I lived in Philly.
But you probably don't make the Art Monk references there. There's a little bit of a rivalry there.
No, but I did big rival. I was just on Good Morning Football and I brought up Art Monk because my dad, the first time he ever hugged me was literally, I think it was the 92 Super Bowl where Washington played the Bills.
91-92, yeah. We destroyed them. We gave Jim Kelly a concussion. I'll never forget it.
Did you help?
Oh, I was on the team.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 8. I was 8, but
Well, what's going on now? I mean, what's up?
Philly beat us in the NFC Championship last year. So we were close last year.
Yeah, but we beat them. We beat them in a game too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're close. We're close.
Not this year.
We got blown out by Green Bay 2 weeks ago, but either way, I think it's still early. We got
Packers. Well, that was actually like I was like, they just need to take Jaden out of the game. Like I was like, this is. Yeah. It's hard because I don't like what Washington did with RG3. Like that bothered me.
I was at that game at FedEx. So we saw him go down and limp out and hobble out. And it was brutal. It was brutal.
But it's like it's running quarter. Like it's just so dangerous. And I don't know. But I think that you got to like protect your quarterback too, And so like, I mean, dude, Micah Parsons is an animal. Like I don't know why he's just expected to, make magic. It just feels a little bit like RG3 vibes again, and it makes me nervous.
I hope not. They're very different.
But he was out this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, Jaden didn't play in the slack week. Marcus Mariota came in and relief. Yeah. But hopefully Jaden will bounce back. Well, cool. Yeah, no, are you kidding me? I could sit and talk football with you all day.
Where did you go to high school?
A little north of where you were from. We were Frederick County, so we were Linganore High School. Yeah.
You always got a snow day. Are you Prince George's County?
No, Frederick. We're north.
Frederick. Okay, because I remember when it was the snow day would come down on the TV. It was always like Frederick. Like you got like 5.
Yeah, but there's also like, you're like, is it Frederick County, Virginia, or people always confuse?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Fredericksburg or Frederick? Which one is it?
Yeah. So Baltimore, I'm very excited to come perform in Baltimore. I always go to Baltimore before I shoot a special in DC. So, but there's this little venue called Magooby's.
Of course, in Baltimore. Yeah,
it's in.
Who did I interview for that? Oh, Chris Kattan, like a year ago, was coming to Magooby's.
It's in Timonium.
Yeah, it's like near Towson.
Yeah.
Home where Amy Schumer went to Towson, by the way. Yeah, good comedy chops around there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so I usually will prepare there and then I'll go perform in DC at Sidney Harmon Hall where I shoot specials. But this time I'm doing the Lyric and I'm very much looking forward to it. And it's going to be rowdy. Baltimore crowds don't mess around.
No, we love it. And I should say, we were talking a lot of DC football, but I'm Baltimore baseball. I was a Cowboy. So it's, there were no Ravens or Nats, but when I was younger, so, they came late.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, so you're a Washington fan, not a Ravens fan?
For football, yeah. For Baltimore baseball. It's funny how that works. There's some of us out there.
Pick a lane.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm loyal to the team that when I was a kid. Well, cool. We talked a lot about growing up and even your college years. So what, if you don't mind, let's cover some of the ground of what brought you to LA. Like, how did you decide to move? Was it because you wanted to try the hand at stand-up? You were like, I'm giving up on journalism.
Wanted to surround myself with pedophiles.
Well, you went to the right place. Well, actually, DC, Epstein and DC and Hollywood, it's all the same, right?
Is there do you guys like talk? I mean, because I remember growing up in DC, like maybe it was just the time, like you didn't really hear about politics. It was like rude to talk about politics,
It's
but
changed so much. It's Reagan and Tip O'Neill were Republican and Democrat, and they would go get a beer afterwards. And
right,
I
right.
think sometime around the '90s and Rush Limbaugh and cable news in general, it was when it split, and then it just became food fight, and now the last 10, 15 years is ridiculous. It's like in
Yeah.
everything now.
Yeah, but also just like being in that area, like so we would go sometimes summers I'd be in Roanoke, Virginia, but every now and then we would go to Rehoboth Beach. Well, we weren't Rehoboth. We were at the time Bethany or Ocean City.
Right.
Okay. Oh,
That
so
same
shitty.
that same strip. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's where Biden like vacations. He goes to like Rehoboth.
Mhm.
Right. So it's like you're
Yeah.
still sort of adjacent and it's still
Can't
like
escape it.
it is
Yep.
amazing to me that Joe Biden, I don't even know if he's still with us. I'm unclear about how much money he has. The idea that he's like, I'm
Still
going
around.
to Rehoboth Beach, like
Yeah.
you could go anywhere.
And that's the one you pick.
Why do
Yeah.
you, what is that? If I get canceled for
But it's
trashing
not
Ocean
compared to
City,
LA. I was asking about LA. That's beaches. That's surfing.
Oceans, no, Los Angeles Oceans is, I mean, truly full of fire retardant at this point.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh,
surfers and stuff, but
yeah.
I'm just fascinated by that. Like that,
Yeah.
there's something about like I just don't think California maybe it's because you're always near a beach,
Yeah.
but Ocean City, Bethany, Dewey, they all have such specific personalities. Like they're like you're a Dewey person or you're a Bethany person.
Yeah.
Like it makes me so nostalgic to think about it. It's like you're, Annapolis is like a whole
Yeah.
like the crab call out here. There's no like loyalty. There's no what is it? Personality to each
Yeah.
beach
Because
kind
I
of
think
thing.
because people are dropping in, they're not really, well, there are a
It's
lot of people
yeah,
from there, but there's a lot of imports.
yeah. Oh, imports. Is
Yeah.
that what we call them
Well,
now?
you're staying at the proverbial Hotel California. It's a
Yeah,
metaphor.
totally.
Yeah.
It's very
Metaphor.
touristy. It's very I don't know, there's a soullessness to it. And I don't say that about LA and California the way I think most
DC is
people.
the same though. The culture you're talking about, that's Maryland, and Virginia has its own culture, but DC is very much similar to LA. It's
No,
people
DC and
coming
Hollywood are
in,
the same thing.
people
It's
coming
like
in,
Hollywood
no
is about
soul.
fame
Yeah.
and DC is about power. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. And
Yeah.
so many politicians are failed actors or like want to be actors, so it's
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
go.
Oh yeah.
I think that was like spending time in DC as a kid. I think was a huge advantage of coming to Hollywood because I was like, I know what this is. You just
Yeah.
pretend you like people.
Yeah.
You pretend you believe this to get
Yeah.
along with this person. Like it's all just bullshit.
Totally. And now we're the reality show politicians now. So yeah, you just
Yeah.
went the other direction. That's
Yeah,
cool.
totally.
Weren't
So
you? But you've always blurred the line of reality and show type stuff because I remember. I think one of the first things. Weren't you one of the pranksters on Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher?
yes,
Who did
yes,
you
I
get?
was.
Do you remind me? Who all did you prank?
It was. We were talking about this last night. Chris Klein was one.
Oh yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, Mekhi Phifer, Julia Stiles, Haley Cuoco. Because it was the season after Ashton Kutcher like pretended to cancel it, so we got like a
Right.
lot of them done before it came out. Oh, Adam Brody,
Oh nice.
Ben McKenzie from the OC.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing some people. I'm definitely
You're
missing
right.
some
No,
people.
that's good. That's good. That's a good sampling. Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of the nation, maybe first started seeing you with that, but then obviously you're hitting the stand up clubs.
Yeah, it was such a like great first job because it was like you had to be anonymous to get the job, but then you got the maximum amount of exposure because like if any of the celebrities recognized you, so it was like you had to be unknown. Whereas getting a job in Hollywood, even to be on like this like a teen drama, like you had to already have been on something, and like how do you get on something if you've never been on something? So it was this catch-22 where you're like, oh, I have to be a nepo baby, and I just was like, I don't know anyone, like I'm just this like hillbilly, coming in, knowing nobody, not having an agent manager, nothing. So the MTV thing, I would when I was in Philly, I would work at a place called Banyan Productions, and they did Trading Spaces and a bunch of those like home renovation shows, and I would come in and be the performer that would play the other roles when other people would audition. And Paige Davis ended up getting it, but they were like, do you want to audition to be the host? Because I was like there all day, and I was like, oh, and I almost got it. So I got an agent. So then they asked me to audition to be like an MTV VJ.
Nice.
And after like my audition to be an MTV VJ, it's so weird to think back because at the time I didn't realize this was a total insult. But they were like, you should audition for Punk'd. Like you should be like the psychopaths who sadistically You
You're
know, like,
perfect for that role.
yes, like you seem like a great liar. You're lying to yourself that you think you could ever get this job. You seem to really believe you're going to get this. We need someone delusional.
Yeah.
So then I went in for that. And I remember Jason Goldberg was there, who I to this day am so grateful. He would never be able to do this today in an audition, but I parked. And you have to be a Nepo baby to park in LA. You have to be a millionaire just to park. Like I remember I had like $2 cash or something, and it's like 50 cents for every half hour at this meter. And I remember putting in like $2 in quarters. I mean, like, okay, I have a half hour. I go in, there is a list to audition for Punk'd that is pages and pages. It's like they call it a cattle call.
Yeah.
And so I like went in and I like put my name on like the 15th page or something. And then I just was like, you know what, whatever. And I just like kind of threw my hands up and like kind of just had this moment of like, never mind. And I started walking out, like leaving. And then Jason Goldberg watched me do that. And he was like, excuse me, where are you going? And I was like, I'm not, it's crazy, you know? And he was like, can you come in now? Like he wanted someone who didn't want the job or didn't care.
Saw through the BS. You're like, I'm not waiting.
I just was like, what is this? Like, but my thing, because I didn't know he was the producer. And I was like, this is so, they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
I was like, these people don't know what they want. And he was like, well, I'm these people. And I was like insulting the process. I was like, why would you have this many people?
That's what they wanted.
Totally. So, all these people are going to be exhausted by the time they come in, like sitting around for 3 hours. Like, how is this even legal? Honestly, you're not guaranteed the job. In no other business can you just make people sit around. I was like, I can't afford the meter. So I come in. And so because on that show, if you had desperate, needy energy, it was going to give away the prank. So then I came in. Yeah. And I wasn't like, hire me. I was like, I gotta get, I literally cannot afford.
My meter's running out. Yeah.
I said, I was like, I have a ticket. Like if I can't get a ticket. So what, and then, and I didn't realize he was the like person that made the decision. Sure. So I got in there and he did 2 or 3 things that were actually really interesting. He was like, you know, figure out a way to get me to take my belt off, like convince me to take my belt off. And then I don't remember, but I remember going like, dude, like I just like nailed it. Like I remember just being in some flow state of like I spent my whole childhood manipulating adults for stuff because my
whole life has been leading
totally
to this moment.
Yes, something. I don't know. I was probably like, can I have that belt? I need to hang myself. I don't know what I said.
Yeah.
But and then he said, all right, I'm just gonna insult you for as long as I can and just like come back at me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, dude, like you have like
I feel sorry for you. Yeah, I'm gonna
cozy hug. Like I was literally like, I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm daddy. So he just starts insulting me and it was like, and we just like went on and on and on. And that was it. That was the audition. I mean, you could truly never do that today. But
that's great. I love that your big quote unquote, you know, big break in Hollywood was just being real, and that gets you on Punk.
He just wanted to make sure I was unshakable. He just wanted to make sure that I was like couldn't get nervous, couldn't get thrown. Yep. And I was like, oh, dude, this is like, people were coming out of the audition sobbing, like, and you know, and I was like,
and you're just like rolling with it. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't need to be here.
I'm like, oh, are you shooting a documentary on my life? I thought this was Punk'd.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome. So Punk'd, and then a lot of us saw you on a wider national audience. Was a lot of the Comedy Central roast. Didn't you do Joan Rivers in 2009, David Hasselhoff in 2010, and then some guy no one ever heard of again, Donald Trump in 2011? Yes, wait, do you have of those 3? I mean, well, we lost Joan sadly, but David's still around. Right?
David Hasselhoff? Is he dead?
I think he's still around. Yeah, he's still alive, eating drunken
But
cheeseburgers.
Hulk Hogan was on David Hasselhoff's.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain.
Which one do you think you came with the most fire? Or were all 3 amazing?
It's so interesting because it's like roasts are so strategic. Like you have to find a way to be the underdog. Being the underdog is kind of the key to it. Because otherwise it just comes off too mean. Yeah. And for a woman like bitchy. And so I think the key, you know, the Joan Rivers one was I had so much to prove. No one had any idea who I was. Like people probably got up to go to the bathroom when I came on.
The first one,
And by the time I got up there to be a roaster, I had already written on the roast for 3 or 4 years. So I wrote on Flavor Flav. I wrote on who was after Bob Saget.
Rest in peace.
I wrote on Willie Nelson ended up not happening. but there was another one. It was like Cheech and Chong, but that was on like some other whatever. So I'd written
the joke writing process behind the scenes, but this was your first one out in front.
I knew that a A- joke isn't, you can't even consider it. Like I knew how to just be like crisp and concise and just savage. And I knew sort of like what I was up against, given where I was in the order. Like I understood the science of roasting. Like I was just built in a lab to kind of do it.
Right.
And I understood that it's about math. It's about being crisp. It's about going to an angle that no one else is going to touch, so like Donald Trump, like you can't really say much about his hair. Like everyone's going to hit it. Everyone's going to have said it. By the time you get on, everyone's going to be sick of it. Yeah. And I think for me, like deep insecurity and fear, I always am grateful for, and anxiety. People are like, I have anxiety. I'm like, in my job, that is like the best thing you can have, because, you can't go in there thinking like, this is good enough, or like, I'm going to nail it. Like you're not, like, even when up there, I was changing jokes.
So what did you poke at instead of the hair? Not knowing he would become president 5 years later.
His wife's fake QVC money laundering businesses.
Wait, which one? Which wife?
Melania Trump. Okay. Oh, Melania.
I didn't remember where it fell in the,
I don't even know. She had a jewel. Because she had the first wife. He had the Ivana. Right. Yeah. Melania had like a jewelry line, had a watch business on QVC or something. His daughter had like a shoe line. Like I think I was just going like all the huckster nonsense.
Sure. Yeah.
We did make fun of the fact that it was like they were saying he's like going to run for president. We were like, we didn't even acknowledge it because it was so dumb. Like it was just like not even worth addressing. Like
I think that if it was 2011, I think that's the same year that Seth Meyers and Barack Obama, of course, at the Correspondents' Dinner when they were roasting him, and that a lot of people think that inspired him to run. Like he was so angry at them.
He's been planning to run for his whole life. I mean, I think and I got a lot, like when he won the first time, the roasts, me, Anthony Jeselnik, like there was this like backlash against us of like, you guys humanized him, because that's what the roasts do. But he already was like, we were talking about his, dick being like, I had a joke that was like, Melania has a diamond, but now she knows what hard is supposed to feel like. Like, don't get her a diamond. Now she, like, it was like going and going.
That'll get you Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, I guess he's back now. So
yeah, but like he then, the person being roasted is supposed to come up and their speech is supposed to be like, and you're a whore and who are you? And I've never heard of you. And he didn't do any of that. He got up and went, this is what's wrong with America. Hollywood elites are beating up on self-made men. Like he started running right there.
Self-made though? Nepo.
I don't. So we're sitting there going, no, call me a whore. What are you doing? You're supposed to call me a slut. What's happening?
And
he was like, like this is what's wrong with America, all this negativity. And then he seemed like this hero that was getting bullied, we were all like, oh God.
Yeah, he's never bullied anyone, so sad for him.
It's
But yeah, no, that's sort of the message he bottled and ran with. You're right. That's sort
of exactly every opportunity. He knows exactly how to make it benefit him. What he does lie about, if you call him on it, like, why are you so obsessed with me? Like, it makes you look crazy.
Well, anyway, folks, you got to go check out all of your Comedy Central roast stand-up specials, a couple on Comedy Central, HBO, a couple on Netflix, OnlyFans TV. Look it all up.
That one is, I own it, so it's now on YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, great. Before we go, though, I wanted to ask you about some of the sitcom stuff you did. I know you co-created the CBS sitcom Two Broke Girls.
Yes.
You also created and starred in Whitney. I mean, once you have a named show, in Reba or Sybil and Martin, Seinfeld, you've made it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a dream, but I mean, it was every day was like what Jimmy Kimmel's going through now. It's like, that's network TV. You get a lot of notes and you kind of go like, this would have been so much funnier if it wasn't on network TV. And now I'm like, I just feel really grateful that they're streaming now. And although I love doing network television shows, I love doing sitcoms. Two Broke Girls, we were able to get away with like a little bit more, but I did that. That was all, I was the boss at 26 years old of 200 people. I was like just as trying to figure out how to be a boss and run a show and star in a show and, make it as funny as possible. So, people are kind of rediscovering the sitcom. It's sort of evergreen, and we never talked about politics or tried to lecture anyone on how to live. So it's kind of getting the second life.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You were coming to the Lyric in Baltimore, Maryland on October 4th. It's called your Big Baby North American Tour. So I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.